faculty development program on this wonderful topic. And really, this will be a great forum for all our peers to learn some knowledge by attending these sessions. Definitely, I was seeing that there are some very good topics you have arranged, and wonderful speakers are there for the remaining 5 days. So definitely it will be an opportunity for me to learn also. Thank you, Anuragji. May I start now?
Yes, sir. Thank you,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you, Anuragji. Let me share my slides for this session. Thank you. So today I have been asked to deliver this topic, that is artificial intelligence and overview, on the occasion of this faculty development program on artificial intelligence at Electrical Engineering Department, Bansal Institute of Engineering and Technology, Lucknow. So I welcome all the participant and faculty colleagues who are also some faculty members at some institutions or some research scholars. So this artificial intelligence is a topic which has emerged as a very hot topic in recent time, and there are several uses of this particular area, this particular tool, you shall say, that artificial intelligence in different areas. There are several uses in the area of technology. There are implementation in the area of business management, in economics, and this, as I belong to this domain of electrical engineering, so I will say there is a different aspect of artificial intelligence for identification and mitigation of different type of negative impacts and control of several aspects. So these are the few things which have attracted the researchers and the implementers who are controlling the tasks of different operations for us. So this artificial intelligence has attracted them a lot, and several applications we can find in different domains of our daily life also. So we will we will discuss about them one by one. But let me introduce some background with this artificial intelligence, from where this artificial intelligence suddenly emerged. This particular term artificial intelligence, when was it used first time? Intelligence was right from the beginning, because this was defined as a attribute in the human, right? And it is the humankind that has given itself the name, this scientific name, Homo sapiens. That means man the wise, because our mental capacities are so important to our everyday lives and our sense of self. The field of artificial intelligence, or AI, we call it in short, attempts to understand intelligent entities. Thus, one reason to study AI is to learn more about ourselves, that is human being. But unlike philosophy and psychology, which are also concerned with the intelligence, they use the term intelligence right from almost from their beginning. This artificial intelligence strives to build intelligent entities and to understand them, right? So development and understanding, these are in a cyclic manner, which have formed the basis for development and further development for this artificial intelligence. Another reason to which we can say for studying this artificial intelligence is that whenever we develop these, construct these intelligent entities, they are interesting and useful in their own right. They identify their own right and wrong, and that forms a basis for the further development on the basis of the decision taken by or the action performed by these devices. In this way, this artificial intelligence has produced many significant and impressive products, even at this early stage. Yes, we are in a very early stage of this artificial intelligence based products. Nothing, we have almost performed, or we have all achieved nothing. But if we see this particular total view, whatever we have planned to take from this domain of artificial intelligence. So we are at the stage of very beginning, almost you can say some 2 to 5% only. Although no one can predict the future in detail, it is clear that computers with this human level intelligence that we call the childs in our reference, or better, would have a huge impact on our everyday lives and on the future course of civilization. Every new day comes with a very new application of artificial intelligence. You can find it on the news, you can find it in the social media, you can find it in the activities of the scientist, human being, or you can say very common man. Every day new application is coming. This artificial intelligence addresses one of the ultimate puzzles, that how our brain works. And our brain, which is possible for a slow, tiny brain, which is with everyone, every human being, that is either artificially made brains, which are present in our society now, and they are working in the laboratories for testing purposes in future, or it is the biological brain which every human being is having. And the target is, and the expectation is, to perceive, understand, predict, and manipulate a world far larger and more complicated than itself, which is a very small one. So how do we go about making something with those properties which is expected from a human being? These are very hard questions to reply, but unlike the search for faster than light travel or an anti-gravity device or a human flight, as a recent time it is going on, a human flight, man-driven flight or non-man-driven flight to the Mars or in the space, the researchers in AI had solid evidences that this particular quest is possible. How much this brain can do, how much this artificial intelligence can decide or predict. Predictions are going on day by day. Newer predictions are going on day by day. So this, all the researchers had to, they have to do is to look in the mirror to see an example of an intelligent system, whatever the human being is. And till today, we find that this human being is the best example of an intelligent system, because it is the man who is developing and deciding the targets for artificial intelligence. Yes. So we can say on this basis that the artificial intelligence is one of the newest disciplines for our studies, for our implementation, for our design purposes, etc., etc. So This artificial intelligence term, this was first time it was coined in 1956. Although the time, some discussions about this have started some 5 years before this, right? So let me tell one basic definition of this artificial intelligence, that it generally refers to a group of techniques that attempt to mimic certain aspects of human brain or its nature or its behavior, right? And accordingly, the AI-based applications are attempted to develop so that this human intervention can be ignored during the regular processes or some not very interesting daily works. This was the basic purpose. This was the application. So this term artificial intelligence was first coined by John McCarthy through the Dartmouth Summer Research Project on AI in 1956, right? But before that, in 1950, this Alan Turing asked a question: can machines think? This was the first question. And the Turing's paper, which was published in 1950, paper was Computing Machinery and Intelligence. This was the title. And it was followed by this Turing test, which he has developed. That established the fundamental goal and vision of artificial intelligence, or AI. And this term AI, which was first coined during this 1956 Dartmouth Summer project on AI, the motivation was that every aspect of learning or any other feature of intelligence can be so precisely described that a machine can be made to simulate those particular actions, either actions or thoughts, or how to decide the things, how to take decisions, etc. So this major limitation in defining AI as simply that is the building machines that are intelligent is that does not actually explain what AI is and what makes a machine intelligent, as firstly proposed by this Alan Turing in his paper. So, but we shall not forget that the study of intelligence is one of the oldest disciplines in the human being society. It started all with this development of this presence of human being on this planet. But we have some recorded history of this, that for over 2000 years, philosophers have tried to understand how this seeing by human being or learning or remembering and reasoning could be done or should be done. Then advent of this usable computers in 1950s, early years of 1950s, has turned the speculation and concerns in mental faculties into real experimental and theoretical disciplines. And at that time, the many felt that these new electronic superbrains has unlimited potential for intelligence. And at that time, one article was published that was having a headline that faster than Einstein. It was a typical headline at that time. But as well as providing a vehicle for creating artificial intelligent entities, the computer also provides a tool for testing these theories of intelligence. And similar to this Turing test, which was proposed by Turing, that was the very first test at that time. And after that, so many theories came into existence. But these computers were a very intelligent tool for testing these theories. And in this process, many theories failed to withstand these tests. And in this way, the AI has turned out to be more difficult than what we imagined in our first glance. And in this way, but in this process, the advantage was that modern ideas became much more richer, much more subtle, and more interesting as a result. In this way, this AI currently encompasses this huge variety of subfields. We can say that is from general purpose areas such as perception and logical reasoning. And it also, this particular domain may lead to, or subfields may lead to, a specific task such as playing chess, proving mathematical theorems, writing poetry, and diagnosing diseases, right? Which is the most important requirement in the present scenario, and for which we are trying to develop new methods for identification or new methods for implementation, such as developments of robots, etc., for those jobs where deployment of human being can be a dangerous one, either due to some other scenarios or some epidemic scenarios. And after that, what happened? These scientists, when this became a set of artificial intelligence was defined as a set of sciences, theories, techniques, and this was including these mathematical logic, statistics, probabilities, computational neurobiology, computer science. And the aim of this particular set of knowledge domains was to initiate the cognitive abilities of human being. So in total, there was a process that whatever from small to large, whatever a human being can think or actuate, that shall be artificial intelligence must be capable of that. So what started happening after that? So several scientists in other fields move gradually into artificial intelligence, where they find the tools and the vocabulary to systemize and automate the intellectual tasks on which they have been working all their lives in their particular area, either from biology or from the economy or from the management or from the technology, right? So everybody, they started coming to this and started contributing for the development and application of AI. Then similarly, workers in artificial intelligence can choose to apply their methods to any area of human intellectual endeavor. In this sense, this AI has become today a really universal field. So with this, a definition which was in record, artificial intelligence is the science of making machines do things that would require intelligence if done by humans. So this was the basic theme on which, this was the basic expectation from the artificial intelligence, you can say, with which this development of AI was started. So let's understand what are the different definitions for artificial intelligence. And they are not in any particular order. Similarly, I feel that they are in alphabetical order. So this Bellman in 1978 defined it as the activities or the automation of activities that we associate with human thinking, activities such as decision making, problem solving, learning. So these were the processes which were supposed to be learned by the machine and keep on performing their task on regular basis without any human intervention. In 1995, Dean et al., there was a team which defined this as the design and study of computer programs that behave intelligently. These programs are constructed to perform as would a human or an animal to whom whose behavior we consider intelligent. So this was the expectation, how the human beings or intelligent animals, they are performing the task after their fast learning. In similar way, machine shall also learn in that faster way and perform their task without any error. Another definition says the art of creating machines that perform functions that require intelligence when performed by people. So there was, in this way, the focus was on the control of the machine, and that particular control was built in within the machine. Another definition says this is a branch of computer science that is concerned with the automation of intelligent behavior. Yes, we are still exploring this particular domain. We have got so many success in these domains and developed so many good products, and we are still striving for the requirement of the future. So Nielsen says the many human mental activities such as writing computer programs, doing mathematics, engaging in common sense reasoning, understanding language, and even driving an automobile are said to be demand intelligence, right? And then we can say that these systems exhibit artificial intelligence. So today there are most of these things, they have almost achieved. Yes, computers are capable of writing programs as per your need. You give them basic ideas and accordingly they can develop in your required language. They can do some basic mathematics to advanced mathematics for you. They can engage common sense reasoning. You can engage yourself with the Google Assistant or Siri. They are these assistant. Yes, these computers nowadays, they are capable of understanding language and translate it either in text or in language or in speaking language for your as per your requirement. And presently there are several experimentations or trials. Yes, prototypes have been already developed, right? And these programs are driving these driverless cars, right? So most of the things, they are under process. So in this way, we can see that we have started implementing those things which were expectations or which were initially expected from this artificial intelligence definition. Rich and Knight defined that the study of how to make computer do things at which the moment people are better. So this, it was again to copy or imitate those human behaviors, and this expectations was from the computers, right? Then another definition says a field of study that seeks to explain and emulate intelligent behavior in terms of computational processes, right? So you can see all these definitions, they appear at different moments in the different timelines, and accordingly some different set of words might be used for them, but there was a basic common platform that everyone was expecting, that machines shall start working as the human, or they shall think in the way human or intelligent animals think. Winston says the study of the computations that make it possible to perceive, reason, and act, right? This all is intelligence. These all three things, they are based on intelligence, right? The exciting new effort to make computers things, machines with minds in the full and literal sense, right? So everyone knows that the technology is moving in that direction. Whatever you can think, that can be captured by the machine, and that accordingly something can take place. Then comes this definition of Charnak and McDermott. They say the study of mental faculties through the use of computational models, a bit older definition. Then finally this Barr and Fajgenbaum says AI is the part of computer science concerned with the design of intelligent computer systems, that is, systems that exhibit the characteristics associated with intelligence in human behavior. And these particular jobs, which are expected from understanding of the human behavior, of course, they are the jobs expected from the humans, they are basically defined in the basic theories of intelligence. And they say that understanding, language, learning, reasoning, and solving problems, and so on, right? Today, there are the programs available which can continuously engage with you in the discussion, and definitely that all is based on the reasoning. So these things, they are also happening today. So on the basis of these definitions, we can say in summary that artificial intelligence is simulating, modeling, or mimicking human behavior in order to usefully do something that humans do, or perhaps even better than that, then reveal something useful or interesting about humans, make a machine easier for humans to use, and entertain or give instructions to humans. So these definitions form the basis to decide these four possible approaches, which are shown here. And in this way, the artificial intelligence was pursued, that these four possible approaches can be listed as systems that think like humans or systems that think rationally. Second was systems that act like humans and systems that act rationally. So in this way, this comparison between this human-centered approach and rationalist approach, that was made, and it says that a human-centered approach must be an empirical science, right? What has human learned from its experiences, right? And this involving this particular empirical science approach, or this human-centered approach, this involves hypothesis and experimental confirmation. You must be, if you just recall, you will find that there are several empirical methods or formulas are available in sciences. You can go back to your chemistry lectures of class 12th, or some electrical engineering may think of this formula of corona losses, right? So these things, this empirical sciences have their very strong evidences, which are definitely based on the experiences and their experimental confirmation, and those things were found correct. Validation was done through experimentations. And then comes a rationalist approach that involves a combination of mathematics and engineering, and accordingly the formulas are derived, developed, and validated. So different approaches. This acting humanly approach was based on this found for systems that act like humans, and the test was for this Turing test approach was adopted for that. Then for thinking humanly approach, that systems thinking like humans, and for that this cognitive modeling approach was implemented. And for this acting rationally approach, this systems that act rationally. So this particular named approach was applied for that. And then comes the systems that can think rationally. So that was another approach. So this is the diagram which is explaining this classification. So if we move further, we will find that this comparison of second stage earlier was this was something different. This was human-centered approach and rationalist approach, And this is acting humanly approach and thinking humanly approach. Just a minute. This acting humanly approach is called symbolic AI, right? And in this, any system, either this is human being or machine, that exhibits intelligence, and this must be operated by manipulating data structures composed of symbols, right? And the example is expert systems, which we are using in our daily life or for our daily research purposes or daily operation purposes. Then second comes the thinking humanly approach. That is also named as cognitive modeling approach. And this particular approach is focused on this theory of intelligence, closely tied with the brain-like structures. And in this particular, the example for this particular approach is artificial neural network, which has been found very successful in pattern recognition, motor processes, and learning tasks. And this covers its application in almost all the domains in the engineering and technologies and other domains such as business, economy, etc. And this identification and diagnosis of diseases, etc., etc. Then comes the thinking rationally approach. This says the laws of thought approach, also it is named as. And Aristotle is said to be as the first person who developed some reasoning process for in this direction. So Aristotle first attempted to codify right thinking, right? And that is irrefutable reasoning process. And he developed some syllogisms, which provided this pattern for argument structures. And finally coming to the correct conclusion, right? Definitely these correct conclusions were within some correct premises, right? They were not applicable in all beyond their premises. So these premises were defined for all these conclusions. Example, you can see that is the most famous syllogism for developed by Socrates, is that Socrates is a man. Then next comes all men are mortal. Therefore, Socrates is mortal. So this is the right thinking way for reaching to the right conclusion. So these laws of thought or syllogism in the language of their own language of Aristotle and their countrymen, these were supposed to govern the operation of the mind and initiated the field of logic or right thinking. The development of formal logic that started in the late 19th or earlier 20th centuries, you can say, provided a precise notation for a statement, right? And again, this is the right thinking, extension of right thinking that says that precise notations for statements about all kind of things in the world and all relations between them. And after that, there were several books on this particular process of right thinking, right? Sometimes this right thinking of logic takes you in another domain of this development of your mental activities and your mental control also. But contrast to this, this arithmetical notations, they provide mainly for equality and inequality statements, and that were used with numbers only, right? So this was the difference, but this right thinking approach was a basic theory behind this intelligence. Now we can discuss these ABCD of artificial intelligence. This A stands for artificial intelligence, B stands for built-in intelligence, C stands for collective intelligence, and D comes for derived intelligence. So with this A, B, C, D, we can think that what is artificial intelligence? A is to synthesize programs and machines that can replicate human intelligence in artificial systems. Then comes this built-in intelligence, the development of intelligent agents, which will perform the job as per the logic or job assigned to them to work, right? And they are the basically artificial intelligence programs, and they have ability to perceive the world around it, and they autonomously decide their actions, and then they are also capable to adapt their behavior as per the changes coming, right? So that is this adaptation was also adaptation, and accordingly change the decision was also a part of this targets. So these intelligent agents can be defined as an identifiable entity which can sense the environment around it, which have its own beliefs and goals, which is autonomous in choosing its actions, which is flexible in learning, and it has the ability to adapt the surrounding changes in surrounding, and accordingly change its behavior to get the right result, right? So this is intelligent agent. We are using it in different domains for different applications. This intelligent software agents based computational approaches, they are used to solve complex optimization tasks. They are used to understand the dynamics of markets and economics, and they are designed for better organizational structures and business policies. And there are so many examples. I have listed a few only here. And these intelligent agents are presently, they are being used so widely that it has emerged as their application has emerged as a full-fledged discipline, which is used in academic research and academic and research domain, and this is known as agent-based computing. So this is for B, built-in intelligence. Third comes this collective intelligence, right? I think we all are using, or we are aware with these terms, swarm intelligence, etc., right? Particle swarm, artificial bee colony, ant colony, and so many new optimization techniques, they are coming every day in the literature. So this is an example of collective intelligence. And it is defined as the ability of a group of simple agents which work together to solve bigger and complex problems, right? Because which can be solved, this problem was solvable by the single problem solving agent, but to make it faster, and as the problem size was bigger and it was more complex, so this group is working to solve it in a collective manner. And this collection of these simple agents, that is called swarms, right? And emergent intelligence arousing by their interaction in a group, or their interactive activities, that is known as swarm intelligence, right? So this swarm intelligence can be defined as any attempt to design algorithms or distributed problem solving devices inspired by collective behavior of social insect colonies and other animal societies, that is ant colony, artificial bee colony, and then comes this particle swarm, right? The particle swarm is quite old, and this ABC and ant colony ACOs, they are also having several applications. Literature is full of them. So this synergistic combination of multiple agents and their capability to self-organize, right? Their capability to self-organize and tolerate faults. These are the two important points for this basic functioning of this swarm intelligence. So these capabilities, they make these strategies highly suitable for complex optimization task, right? So this is also a optimization. Complex optimization is also a different domain in which these particular swarm optimization techniques are used for different type of applications globally. Finally, this comes as derived intelligence. This is also very interesting. This derived intelligence, and you will be surprised to have their advantages or disadvantages in your daily life, right? So these derived intelligence, they are the techniques which make this information retrieval, or you can say data mining, for this extract meaningful information from huge volume of otherwise unstructured data, right? Similarly, what Google is doing with you, right? What Google is doing, it is monitoring your actions. It is collecting the data from your mobile phone, from your daily activities, right? There are also some unestablished claims that some people say that Google is having an eye on your actions also using the camera of your mobile phone. It may possible, it is possible, but what is the fact that cannot be said at this moment. So this is possible by the use of this derived intelligence, where a huge amount of data is generated by each and every mobile phone or each and every device which is in the network, right? And then some very smart programs are developed which can extract this meaningful information, right? And in that way, this you must be aware with this new thing which has emerged some last 2 days, that Pegasus, right? You can read about it, and then you can connect that particular event with this derived intelligence. So what happens? You go to several websites, you go to several apps through your mobile phone or your computers, right? And for your different needs, such as personal communication, finding this required information through web search, and making social networks on different social platforms, right? So what happens is there are several statistical averaging and aggregating techniques along with user transaction and browsing history. They are used to derive relevant information from your data which you have generated through your uses. So in this way, AI is not only creating intelligent applications, but it is also playing pivotal role in extracting intelligence from otherwise passive sources, right? Your activities on Facebook, your activities on Twitter, they are all being monitored, and your behavior accordingly. Twitter sometimes ban some of the users depending upon their actions, because it is not possible to monitor each and everyone in such a huge number of user database, but it sometimes takes actions, and on the basis of some AI AI programs are there, and you can find it there. This particular user was blocked on the basis of they have this much information find on their data, right? So these are the actions which may be considered in this category. Then comes the aims of artificial intelligence, right? So the aims are to produce artificial humans or animals or robots, to build systems that exhibit human intelligence, to learn more about human intelligence by trying to emulate it in a machine, to build systems that behave super intelligently, to build systems which can do boring and dangerous tasks, right? Like this watering the lawn or a big field, right? That may be sometime more, much more boring. So that some AI-based robots can be deployed on that, or some AI-based control techniques may be employed for watering a big field, and accordingly, according to the instructions, those valves can operate and make watering for the complete field, right? Some dangerous tasks are also being handled to the robots, such as bomb disposal, etc., etc. Right. So to build useful machines using mechanism inspired by human intelligence, which may work continuously, and they may be deployed for those applications from where this human activities are not possible round the clock, right? You must have heard about these some few applications of some robots in some hospitals or some in public domains such as airports, etc., which were collecting this some tests, etc., on this time of pandemic, right? So these bots in this time of pandemic, they were also developed, and these machines were based on this artificial intelligence only. Yes, this artificial intelligence includes machine learning and deep learning. That includes evolutionary computation, fuzzy logic, cognitive modeling, natural language processing, hybrid systems, and agent-based systems. Let me share some examples of artificial intelligence with you. They are smart assistants like Siri, Alexa, Google Assistants. They are all based on this Google, this Android-based telephone, or this Apple telephones, which they use some different platform. So these are the smart assistants available with your phone, and they are available in your control, right? Then comes the disease mapping and prediction tools. And as we are predicting the second wave, third wave, and how much it will be impacting positive or negatively, right? That all is possible with the mapping for different assumptions also, right? If we will do this, the impact will be this. If we can have this this much percentage of this vaccination, so this may impact this one, right? So accordingly, the targets are set for their future plans. Then comes manufacturing and drone robots. Yes, you all know that even these drones are taking pictures nowadays, right? People are using their drones for, then they are easily available in the market along with the cameras, right? And definitely some other purposes, drones are also available, which are highly trained for the specific jobs, right? In this way, their control is also important, as you must have heard that in some few 1 or 2 weeks back, some drone were used for some anti-national activity in some Kashmir-based this Air Force station, right? So in this way, they are being used for positive and negative actions both. So this is also AI-based example, which may be used for harmful activities also. Then comes this optimized, personalized healthcare treatment recommendations, because what presently doctors are doing. Doctors are giving, if you are having fever, take this medicine. If you are having this much, do this medication, right? So they are all defined in this way. But we all know that every human being is a different entity, right? And a simple single medicine does not work on everyone. It is a chance that it works, right? But there may be a more optimized way. If this much amount of, this much quantity of this medicine will go to this human being, right? So this will act fast. So such type of activities, such type of recommendations are being developed, and definitely there are some medical IDs are also created in some countries, and accordingly they collect data for each and every human being for their daily activities during normal days, or their activities when they were fallen sick and they did medication, and accordingly they keep on updating themselves for further requirements. Then comes this conversational bots for marketing and customer services. You open website of either any this airline company or some big market chain or some other, there you will immediately find a bot will appear, and how may I help you, right? And they will ask you to write your queries on that bot, and accordingly it will keep on answering. Very interesting is that some institutions and some organizations are also using nowadays for making their visitors a welcome feel, so that the basic queries may be resolved at some initial stage. You will find that this AICT website is also using a bot on their website, right? So this is a new trend. This is a new development nowadays where these bots are capable of giving you some satisfactory answers of your queries when no one is there to attend you round the clock. Then comes robo-advisors for stock trading. Yes, they are available. Spam filters on your email. They also based on some training on basis of some human intelligence, and you can define your spam filter for your email as per your requirement. Otherwise, some default settings are always there. Then comes this social media monitoring tools for dangerous content or fake news. This is very much active nowadays, and there are several monitoring tools are there. Songs or TV show recommendations from Spotify and Netflix. Yes, they are this ranking of shows and songs. They keep on changing depending upon the number of users who are watching or listening these programs, right? And accordingly, these websites, they keep on changing based on their data. Then comes air ticket, hotel booking on cheapest available rates. There are several websites, right? And you must be seeing an advertisement of one website which fetches the data from all these websites and immediately compares for you for your given dates and place, right? So there are several such advantages where these artificial intelligence can be used for this particular thing. Then autopilot flights. Yes, that is the AI which drives the these flights on the basis of some given program. If this comes, then do this. If then this happens, then do this. Accordingly, this autopilot flights and driverless cars, etc. They are developed. Then comes AI in retail. Yes, they are definitely big retail chains. They are using AI in their programs. They will immediately drop the price, and as soon as they realize that this thing is coming in demand, they change the price without any notice. So these things are happening nowadays. These are the examples of AI which we can realize by ourselves just by if I'm presenting this list. Yes, these are the uses of AI. These are the examples happening in real life. So let me share a quiz with you. What is happening today with the help of AI? Play a decent game of table tennis or chess or something else. Yes, it is happening. Drive safely along a curving mountain road. Yes. Accordingly, there are the cameras and they take control of your car, and accordingly they keep on telling you. Drive safely along a crowded road. Yes, it is still difficult because human intervention of more than 2 humans comes in it. Buy a week's worth of groceries on the web. Yes, there are intelligent bots or your Google Assistant or this Amazon Echo Assistant. Alexa can do it for you, and they can order the grocery from the web, right? But at a store, a store, there are certain limitations. Your whatever assistant you are using, that has an access to that or not. So sometimes this is a question mark. Discover and prove a new mathematical theorem. Yes, computer is doing it continuously. They are capable of it. Converse successfully with another person for an hour in any language, right? The translation I'm also considering here, right? So sometimes because these particular discussions or these particular bots, they are programmed for some specific manners. So sometimes they may please some person by their interactions, or sometimes they may not please the person depending upon the characteristics or the liking of the person, right? So that's why it is yes also, it is in question marks also. Perform a surgical operation. Yes, AI is capable of doing these operations, but successfully comes sometimes when there are some lags in communication are there, right? So what will happen at what time to perform what action that a human can take. When a human is in control, he can take it immediately, right? But he can handle the emergencies also. But machine will do this particular thing and some new type of emergency that these programs cannot handle, right? But recently there was a news that these development of this 5G communications can remove those lags, but handling of emergency will still a big question. Then comes put away the dishes and fold the laundries. Yes, machines are available for that. Translate spoken Chinese into spoken English in real time. Yes, programs are there. Write an intentionally funny story. Again, funny means that funny is different for me and you. That is different for two different persons, right? So this intentionally funny can be a question mark or say no. So now we will discuss this AI timeline. So we started from 1950, from where this artificial intelligence in that particular decade, some few more of this examples are available where they discussed about some on some other topics which were related to this intelligence, right? But from 1950s, there is Turing's time, and from there, this timeline, this artificial intelligence has a recorded history, right? And from 1980s, there was a topic which emerged as machine learning. And after this 2010, this deep learning has also started. It is very clear from this particular diagram that this particular artificial intelligence is a bigger set. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. And this deep learning is again a subset of machine learning, right? So this AI is given as any technique which enables computers to mimic human behavior, about which we are discussing right from the beginning of this particular presentation. And then comes this machine learning is those AI techniques that give computers the ability to learn without being explicitly programmed to do so. And then comes the deep learning, that is a subset of machine learning, which makes the computation of multi-layer neural networks feasible, right, for making some accurate decisions or taking some accurate actions. And this particular diagram was available on internet, which was sufficiently capable of giving a timeline. And this particular timeline says that in 1950, this Turing test came into picture. And 1955, this term artificial intelligence was used by this John McCarthy as the science and engineering of making intelligent machines. Then 1961, this Unimate, that was the first industrial robot that goes to work at General Motors, replacing humans on the assembly line. In 1964, there comes Eliza. That was a chatbot developed by MIT, some person named Joseph, which holds conversation with humans. Then comes this 1966. That was development of Shaky, right? Shaky was the first electronic person that was developed by this Stanford. It is a general purpose mobile robot reasoning about which was capable of reasoning about its own actions. Then comes a Deep Blue. That was a big story at that time. In 1997, the computer program Deep Blue that defeated the World Chess Championship champion Garry Kasparov, right? And this Deep Blue was developed by the IBM. Then comes this 98, this Kismet was that emotionally intelligent robot detecting and responding to the pupil's feelings, right? This was claimed, and this was developed at MIT by Cynthia Brazil. So this was in this way you can say this AI was has reached up to the emotions of the human being, and that is not today. That happened in 1998. Then comes this 1999. This there was this robot dog was developed. It was named was Aibo, right? Aibo was developed as a combination of what this AI robot, right? And this was developed by Sony, and it was having the skills and personality and it was developed to giving company to the human being, and those traits and personalities were developed further at later time. Then comes the 2002, that Roomba. Roomba was a robotic vacuum cleaner. The company was iRobot, which developed it, and it was developed to navigate within the house by self-control and clean the surfaces. Then Siri, we all know Siri, that Siri was integrated in Apple phones, or this Apple platform, you can say, as an intelligent virtual assistant with a voice interface, right? And the first model in which it was developed, that was iPhone 4S. Then comes 2011. Again, this was Watson, a IBM computer, right? And that was again a big history. That was again a big story at that time, right? Watson won first place on popular $1 million prize television quiz named Jeopardy, right? So that Watson won, and its other competitors were human beings, right? So that was a big story again by the IBM after this 1997 Deep Blue. 2014, this Alexa, we all know Alexa, that Amazon launched Alexa. It is a intelligent virtual assistant with a voice interface that can completely was capable to take actions, take orders from you and complete the task, right? And it was more successful in doing some shopping tasks also. Then comes this Tay. Tay was developed in 2016. It was developed by Microsoft, and later it was blamed for making some inflammatory and offensive racist comments, and for which it made on the social media. Then 2017, this AlphaGo was developed by Google, and this AlphaGo, this was made for the board game called Go. Go was the board game for which this AlphaGo defeated the world champion Kei Jai, right? And this AlphaGo basic thing was that this AlphaGo was having multiple vast number of this possible positions which a human being can think for a specific situation that were fed in that AlphaGo. So this is some very basic examples which were developed some 3 or 4 years back. And after that, we all are aware of what is happening today. This AI is being used for so many things, and the recent examples we are aware with, right? Then comes this, how is AI is used, right? So there are 3 stages of application of AI. One is narrow AI, general AI, and super AI. So what we are using today, that all AI is a narrow AI, and it is dedicated to assist with or take over some specific tasks, right? And it fulfills or accomplishes a specific task for which it is developed. Then comes the general AI. This general AI takes knowledge from one domain and transfers it to other domain, right? And this is performant as a human in perception task and capable of reasoning also by when and why this shall be done. Then comes a super AI, right? Super AI is, they are the machines that are an order of magnitude smarter than humans. They are the machines of the future, right? And they are yet to be achieved, where they will perform better than human. Okay, so this is a comparison for 3 stages of AI. Then this, as I told you, that how this narrow, general, and super AI, they are fit in. So general AI and super AI, they are almost of the they are having their prospects in the future. And presently, this narrow AI, which is specifically designed for a specific task, that again having these 2 different domains within it, or as a subset of it, that is machine learning, which learns on the basis of past data. And then comes the deep learning, which is having a particular learning structures, and on the basis of that, they are simulating the human intelligence within them. So this machine learning is the process by which a computer is able to perform a specific task without using explicit instructions. And it achieves this result by relying on statistical patterns found in past data and applying those conclusions on the future requirements. So this way, this complete past data records are available in a data bank. And from there, this data, translator, this extract data into compatible class objects, right? And on the basis after that, this AI algorithms are implemented and some predictions are made. Then this new data is those decisions or predictions, they are helpful on this present scenario, how much, but there is still a question mark, how much they are successful. This ANN based techniques, they are the example of it. They are developed on the basis of past data, and their application is made for the future. So in this way, we can say that AI works by combining large amounts of data with fast iterative processing. Yes, iterative is an important word here. And intelligent algorithms, allowing the software to learn automatically from patterns or features in the data. So this is a complete set of words which is defining this AI in a very effective way. So computers are good at following processes, that is sequence of steps to execute. If we give a computer steps to execute a task, it should easily be able to complete it. That is the expectation from the computer, right? That expectations we have from our programs, because we develop those programs, and using those programs, they are developed to execute some task, and through that program, our expectations are computer to develop that action or complete that actions, right? And these steps are nothing but algorithms, because algorithms are having those steps within them, and according the job is completed, right? So these algorithms that can be as simple as printing 2 numbers, any 2 numbers it will print, or it may be as difficult as predicting who will win elections in the coming year, what will be the price of relationship price between dollar and rupee in future, what will the oil price after 10 years, what will the pricing of the solar energy after 2 years, etc., etc. So the major subfields of AI can be classified as cognitive computing, computer vision, machine learning, neural networks, deep learning, and natural language processing, or NLP. Right? So these are the major subfields of AI, and this AI combines these different knowledges of all these things. And this cognitive computing is a subfield of AI that strives for this natural human-like interaction with machines. And this using AI and cognitive computing, the ultimate goal is for a machine to simulate human processes through the ability to interpret images and speech also, and then speak coherently in response to that image, right? So accordingly, this is expected from this cognitive one. Then comes the computer vision. This relies on pattern recognition and deep learning to recognize what is in picture or audio or video. Then machines can process, sorry, only video here. When machines can process, analyze, and understand images, they can capture images or videos in real time and interpret their surrounding, etc., etc. Then comes the machine learning. This machine learning automates model building. It uses methods from neural networks and statistics and this operation research, or it can use also physics to find this hidden insights in that data without explicitly being programmed for where to look and what to conclude, right? And then comes a neural network is a type of machine learning that is made up of interconnected units that is what we call the neurons, right? And neurons processes information by responding to external inputs and then relaying this information with each among the units, different units. And then processes requires multiple this passes at the data to find connections and drive some meaningful outcome from that data. Then comes this deep learning that uses much larger neural networks with many layers of processing units in comparison to these neural networks, and that have the advantage of advances in computing power and improved training techniques to learn complex patterns in large amount of data, right? And the common applications include this image and speech recognition. Then comes this NLP, natural language processing, is the ability of computers, this you can say, which can analyze, understand, and generate human languages, including speech. The further what we are expecting, that is NLP of future of NLP is maybe considered as this natural language interaction, which allows human to communicate with the computers using their everyday language, and we are expecting in that way they will perform the task more easily without writing the programs, right? So in this way we can say these are the different subfields of this. Other than this, there are some other areas also where we use this audio analytics, visualization, social network analysis, as I told you in this derivative intelligence, right? So these are the different jobs which are expected using several technologies which enable these for AI. They are some graphical processing units, then comes the Internet of Things, then some advanced algorithms, and some application programming interfaces, which we call APIs, right? So they all help in support. They support the domain of artificial intelligence, right? So these are the few things, and there are the different challenges of using AI also, which we shall say this they depend on the data quality and quantity, labeling and this labeled and unlabeled data. Then comes this explainability, case-specific learning, bias, etc. Right? So if we consider this data quality and yes, we are having some time, so I will like to elaborate it. So if we shall say this data quality and quantity, if we consider it, so this AI systems, they require massive training data sets, and they learn from this AI learn from this available information in a way similar to the humans, right? But what they do other than human, they identify patterns, right? It needs much more data than we do as a human, right? Actually, the difference is that AI can analyze data with a speed, much faster speed that we humans cannot even think of, right? The better data you give, the better outcome will come. So this is about the quality of data and quantity of data. And this AI learns from the data only. There is no other way from which this knowledge can be incorporated in the artificial intelligence. And definitely, it clearly indicates that inaccuracies in the data will definitely be reflected in the results. So this then we will have to add some more layer for removing those errors from that erroneous results that may be required. So this data quality and quantity, amount of data, and this correct data, they are the challenges. Then comes the data labeling, right? This most of our data earlier, it was used to be textual, right? And nowadays with the Internet of Things, a large share of data that comes in the form of images and videos, right? So it seems like, yes, today there's no problem, it feels, but there are many of the systems utilizing machine learning and deep learning. They are trained in a supervised way for this, so that they require that this data shall be labeled, right? So the amount of data which we are generating today, that is definitely very high. And we have reached a point where there are not enough people to label all the data that is being generated through different machines, either as a computer or your mobile phone, etc. So there are different data labeling approaches which are to be adopted, such as synthetic labeling or data programming, right? And we will not go in detail because all these data labeling approaches, they have advantages and disadvantages both. And accordingly, as per our need, we can adopt which approach shall be followed. But this has an impact on the quality of result. I can hear some disturbance. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Then comes this explainability. This what we use in AI mostly, they are the black box models, and user what they finally get, they get a conclusion that is that we call prediction in that case, right? But there is no explanation for how we have reached to that prediction, right? So sometimes what happens, if the conclusion provided by the system overlaps with what user already knows and what he thinks in that way, then definitely in that case he is not going to question that outcome, right? But if it is something different, then there may be a question, there may be a point of disagreement, right? And definitely in that case, the user wants to know how the decision has been made by using this AI. And sometimes what happens, this decision is not sufficiently enough in many cases, right? So this explainability is a big challenge. Sometimes the doctors even cannot rely solely on the such suggestions which have been developed to help the doctors, right, about their patients. So this explainability is still missing in some cases, in most of the cases of AI, and that is a big challenge, right? Then comes the case-specific learning. So this case-specific learning, this sometimes what happens, the systems are very much, very specialized, and this allow us to, this human intelligence is used for this application of AI. And human intelligence allow us to use the experiences from one field to the different one, right? And that is called the transfer of learning. That is transferring the knowledge from one context to another similar context, right? So this AI continues to have difficulties carrying its experiences from one circumstances to other circumstances, and even those circumstances may not be similar when their contexts are changed, right? But that's where the AI is being developed continuously. So you can this case-specific learning is also a challenge. And in fact, these AI systems that detects, you can say it is being used for healthcare. The fraud, there are some different systems in US which were developed for identifying the healthcare fraud. And when they were attempted to develop for these bank fraud cases, they were not that successful, right? So every system is having some specific needs for its successful operation. And in that way, we can say that systems are very, very specialized, and they are focused for a very specific single task. And that definitely is a learning for human being. The human has a capacity to adapt the things and interact with the expert in some other ways, which is still missing with the systems which are using AI for these specific tasks. And finally comes the bias. That is a very important aspect for making decisions and impacting the life of the human being, because today we have started accepting this AI-based decisions as our natural in our daily life. And sometimes if there is some biasing in the data, or there is some biasing in the decision making, right? So it may be quite harmful when such decisions are understood, or they are being followed by the end users. So this bias is something many people are worried about, because these stories of AI system, they may be prejudiced against some gender, or some people of color, and they have been found misleading on the basis of that, because these logics, they were also being developed by some human being, right? So the mindset of that developer also goes for that decision making process, right? AI is not having any bad intentions, no. AI cannot be questioned for any bad intentions, or any bad biases. But yes, even in those conditions, it happens, and the biases take place because these decisions are made on the basis of the available data only. This data does not have opinions, but it learns from the opinions of others, right? So the opinions of others is stored as a data, and accordingly this AI takes a decision, right? So in this case, data, whatever the data that comes from the people, right? And yes, we people, most of the people, you cannot expect whatever they are saying, that is the truth. That is basically, again, their decisions, their views are based on their mindset. Either it is true or false, it is correct or incorrect, but they go with their mindset. They go with their faiths. They go with their own mythology and their own upbringing, right? So in this way, these biases can be created in the decision of AI. So in this way, this may be a challenge, how to avoid this thing, and it is really very difficult thing for if some decision is to be taken on the basis of some limited set of data. And that's why this data quality and quantity, again, the first one, that becomes the important. So everything is how to collect this data, what shall be the ideal data set, that shall be very important. And if we are not going to have a control on that, so there may be a possibility that people may stop trusting these outcomes based of AI in case of our general daily life. So in this way, this is all about these challenges of AI. And yes, we have come to the conclusion that this word is today, that is undergoing with this information big bang. That is number of nodes which are generating data, and this data is doubling every 2 years. And as it was assumed earlier, it may be developing more faster now. And this huge amount of data is being generated every day. Number of devices generating data, they are also increasing day by day, right? So these all these data and this today we have also this 5G has going to develop, and we are going to have this 5G network with a much faster speed. And with all these, this flow of data is also going to increase. And this development of quantum computing, this data explosion will give more faster and more bigger data bank. So hence, what we can say, this interference of AI has become mandatory for decision making and its implementation. And as this AI evolves, it magnifies that ability to use personal information in ways that it may not have an intrusion of the privacy of the human being. So that is also to be considered in future for new expectations. So deal with these issues. You must familiarize yourself with artificial intelligence. This will and by organizing such courses and disseminating the knowledge in this ways, it will be easier for everyone to understand the process, right? And we must all know that nothing is 100% perfect, but being prepared for any problems that can occur in future, that only can you can take it as a huge benefit. So be aware with the development of artificial intelligence, and keep your eyes open to what is happening on everyday basis with the artificial intelligence, how it may can bring a benefit or how it may can bring a loss for you. You must be very much aware with these. Thank you very much for having the patience and listening this talk. And now I will request the audience if they have any question. I'm open to answers. Hello.
Thank you so much, sir. Dear participant, you can now have any query, then ask to the